Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my honest advice for starting to play the ukulele, or if you're a beginner and you just want some extra little tidbits of advice from yours truly. Disclaimer, I do not claim to be a ukulele master. I don't know everything about ukulele, but I have been playing for a couple years. So this advice is going to be based on my experience and what I've learned through that time. Also, I'm filming in my sister Eden's room because this is supposed to be a nice chill video and her room is more cozy for a sit down chatty chat video. Okay, and she has this really cool soccer ball chair that swivels. I didn't plan for this intro to be 10 years long, but it looks like that's where it's headed. This is why we're here. A lot of you might expect this video to be about which ukuleles I recommend for beginners to start out on. However, I already have a video with all of my recommendations, so I'm gonna link that in the card and the description, so you can go watch that if you're looking for a specific ukulele to buy.
2,000 years later.
Now that this intro has lasted longer than the 21 Pilots hiatus, let's go ahead and get into my advice. Okay, yes, I scooted the camera closer because this is about ready to get really personal. Not really. My first piece of advice is you have to be committed. Anytime you learn a new instrument, it is going to be a challenge. It's not going to come easy. You need to put in practice. So my number one piece of advice is to set aside time each day to practice. You definitely could go for 3 or 4 days a week, but for me, whenever I miss a day, that one day turns into a week of not practicing. Personally, in the beginning, I had to be consistent and practice every single day to make it a habit. As for how long you should make your practice sessions, my recommendation is to go for 30 minutes. I think that's a good amount of time that's reasonable to carve out. It's definitely okay to go for 15 minutes. I would say at the least do 15 minutes, but 30 minutes is more preferable. If you could go for an hour or two, that would be awesome, but that is a lot of time to find. And I know people are busy. We have school, we have jobs. A lot of times I'll get the question, how long does it take to get good at ukulele or become advanced? That depends on a couple different factors. I can't give you a solid answer because people learn differently. Some people might catch on to things quicker, but the main factor is how often you're practicing. So if you're practicing once a week, it's gonna take you a lot longer to get good at ukulele than someone who's practicing every day for 30 minutes each time. So what I'm saying is it's a lot easier to not give up on ukulele and to get better if you set the habit from the very beginning. Start practicing every single day. If 30 minutes isn't obtainable, please at least try for 15 each day. My second point is one that you probably don't want to hear, but I think it's important to set this up front because this is an honest advice video. It's going to hurt in the beginning if you've never played a stringed instrument. If you don't have calluses on your fingers, you're gonna get them, but at first it's gonna be painful. You don't have to play until your fingers bleed. I never did. Some people like to go hardcore. Personally, I don't think I would recommend that because then if your fingers are bleeding, I feel like that's gonna make you want to skip a week of practice. So just take it nice and slow in the beginning. It might be a little bit tender, but it'll eventually build up your calluses. You will earn your calluses, and then after that, it won't hurt anymore until you try to play new chords that maybe incorporate different fingers or different positioning that you're not used to. Just keep in mind that the pain is only temporary. It'll go away after you've practiced. So don't let that be the reason that you give up on ukulele. The pain is not a good reason to give up an instrument that you really want to learn if it's only temporary. And it's normal to experience pain. If you want to watch the video where I teach Eden how to play ukulele, I will link that in the card. I think it's really encouraging for beginners to see her struggles that she went through when first learning. Because sometimes when you're first picking up something, you think that those challenges are only happening to you and that other people don't struggle with it because you don't know what to expect. So go check out that video. It's definitely a good one for beginners to watch. Long story short is you will get your calluses and it won't hurt anymore. Number 3 is to record your practice. You don't have to do this every single time you practice because that would be really excessive excessive. I recommend recording your practice maybe once every 2 weeks. You can do this by filming yourself on your phone or doing a voice memo, whatever method you want to do. I think this is a super important thing that a lot of people don't ever do. There's a couple different reasons why I think it'd be a great idea to do this. You'll get to see your progress when you look back on it in a couple months. You'll see, wow, I actually did make it somewhere. I did improve. For me, I decided to film my first song that I learned on ukulele and I posted it to YouTube. Now I can go back and watch that, and let me tell you guys, I watched that and I see how much I've improved from that point. It's an accomplishing feeling to be able to look back on that and actually be encouraged. That's another reason why you would want to film your practices, so you can be encouraged that you're actually getting somewhere and you're not just working for nothing. Number 4, whenever you feel like giving up and you don't want to play anymore, go listen to an artist who inspires you. You have to go back to the original reason why you were inspired to learn in the first place. So if that's going to listen to some Grace Vanderwaal or 21 Pilots, put on a playlist of their music and hopefully you'll be inspired, because I know that inspires me a lot whenever I'm not feeling motivated. If it can even bring back just an ounce of motivation, that's all you need. Piece of advice number 5 is probably going to be my most honest one that I don't know if I've really expressed this on camera before. I really do not like the ukulele tuning apps that you get on your smartphone. Yes, I said it. I think they're great tools to have if you don't have your clip-on tuner with you. Every ukulele player should probably have an app on their phone just in case. However, I really recommend getting the Snark tuner. It's more accurate. I think it's more convenient, easier to use. You don't have to wait for the freaking app to load. There's been times I've sat there for like 2 minutes waiting for the app to load. It's ridiculous. The clip-on tuner, you just press one button and you're ready to tune. Plus it's more accurate. Sometimes those apps get out of whack and I don't like it. Sorry about that noise. I'm really sorry. I will go ahead and leave a link in the description to the tuner that I always use. It's a clip-on one, super easy. I prefer that so much over the app on my phone. Number 6 seems like a really common sense one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Have fun. Sometimes people get really stressed out whenever they can't learn a new chord or it's really difficult for them, but just take a step back, take a breath, and remember why you wanted to start learning in the first place. Hopefully it was to have fun, because that's the point of this little piece of advice. There's no reason to get stressed out about something that's supposed to be fun for you. You can always come back to that thing that you're struggling with in another week if you want to. Another way to have fun is by choosing to learn a song that you love. You don't have to do the typical good for beginners songs if you don't like those ones. I can guarantee you that there are probably songs that you love that can be classified as good for beginner. You may actually want to check out the playlist of ukulele tutorials that I have, because you'll probably find a song in there that's pretty easy to learn that you want to play. Because if you're learning something that you love, you're not gonna be as likely to give up on it. And if you click on one of my tutorials and you see that the chords are just way too difficult, you can always save that to your watch later playlist and come back to it at another time, and then choose an easier song. Most of the tutorials I do are pretty easy. Number 7, it's great to have a support system for when you're first starting to learn the ukulele. You could do this by joining a ukulele club at your school. If your school doesn't have one, you can be the one to start it, be the founder. It would be awesome if you could find a friend or someone at your school who also plays ukulele, so you could have jam sessions or just talk about your challenges together and have someone to bond with over that. I think that really does help. Or even if it's not people who understand the instrument, I think my parents were a great support system in the beginning, because they would be so excited to hear what I learned and they would encourage me and say, oh my gosh, you're doing great, that's so cool how you're playing. And it really did help me to continue playing and get better. Okay, so my last tip is about performing live. This is a very important one because I do get a lot of questions about this. If you never want to perform in front of people, if you are happy sitting in your house alone, no one else around, and strumming your ukulele, and you think it sounds beautiful, and you're okay with just playing for yourself, that's perfectly fine. you don't have to perform live. Everyone has their different reasons for learning an instrument. I think it's cool to be able to share your talents with others, but also I realize some people may play ukulele as a form of therapy or to calm themselves down, and that's fine. However, some people do have that desire to go perform in front of an audience. And people will come to me with the question, hey, I have a school talent show and I really want to play ukulele for it, but I don't think I'm good enough. What do? Well, first of all, playing the ukulele by yourself and performing on stage are two completely different things. You could perform really well at your home with no one around, but then really screw it up on stage. And I'm not saying that to be discouraging. What I'm saying is you could be a master ukulele player, have been playing for 30 plus years, then get on stage and not be that great. My point here is the only way that you're gonna get better at performing is by performing. So sure, it may not be the greatest the first time you play in front of people, but that's okay. How else are you gonna get better? My advice for that, the people who ask me, should I play for my talent show? Yes, absolutely. Okay, but one thing I would recommend before you do the talent show or performance that you play in front of some family members or friends. That way it's not just happening all at once. You do maybe have a little bit of practice leading up to that big stage performance. I know it's nerve-wracking to play for your parents and your siblings, but I promise you it's much needed if you're gonna take that step. And that is all the advice that I have for you guys today. I hope that it helped or you found some of it encouraging. And also, this YouTube channel right here is a wonderful community of ukulele players. So if you ever have any questions or are feeling discouraged, you can just come to this channel, hopefully find an encouraging video or encouraging comments. If you want to get more connected in the community, I will link my Instagram and Twitter in the description, as well as just any other resources that you might want. I'll put my tutorials playlist down there. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and be a good person. I love y'all. Bye.